Hello and welcome to this CCB video blog. Now this is another Throwback Thursday. I made this video 8 years ago. Now I made this video because I used to help people that were new to fishing bait casting reels set them up. Most fishermen start with a spinning reel. It's a lot easier. But if you're a true bass fisherman, you're always going to want to start using a bait caster. Now, I would see people and I'd be like, hey, and they're like, hey, I'm new to this. I'd see them getting backlashes, and I'm like, here, let me help you out. Let me show you kind of the way that I set them up, and a way that can help you, get less backlashes. So 8 years ago, I did this little tutorial about how to set up your bait caster so you get fewer backlashes and have a lot more fun using your new bait caster. So here it is.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Tips and Tricks. Now today I'm going to be talking about how to set up a new bait casting reel. Now I fish this pond all the time, and I've actually met and introduced probably 25 other people to this pond. I would say at least half of them came here and never fished a bait caster. When they saw me, they saw the setup, they want to learn how to do it. So I've helped at least 10, 12 people set up their new bait caster for the least backlashes and helping you actually learn how to fish a bait caster for the first time. I mean, it takes a while because other than what I'm showing you, it has a lot to do with thumb control. But this setup will help you get started and fish it with the least amount of backlashes until you learn all the little intricacies about a bait caster. Now, first off, I start with the magnetic anti-backlash system. I always set it at 7. I've been setting it at 7 since the invention of anti-backlash units, either magnetic or configural, on bass baits. Yes, I'm old enough, I've been fishing them before they even had the anti-backlash on them. But set that at 7. That's just the base, and I'll get back to that a little bit later. But the next thing is the spool tension. And that is this little button here on the side behind your star drag thing. If you get a new reel, they're usually backed off. And when you click that thumb and you let it go, it'll pretty much free spool all the way down. What you want to do is tighten it up and tighten it up, and this tightening will have to be adjusted depending on which weight you have on your line. When you get it to a certain point, what you want is set it about, your rod up about 2 o'clock or so, click into gear, and let that thing fall. Now when it hits the bottom, you want it to look like this. Just a little bit of an overspool. I mean, the spool might turn maybe 2 or 3 times, just bringing a little bit of line up off the spool. If you actually drop it and get it down there and it looks like this, it's pretty much almost a backlash, and you have it set way too light for the weight you're fishing. So, I mean, it's just a base, but you have to focus on the spool tension, and not just anti-backlash and putting it from 1 to 10 and thinking that's going to solve it. Get that weight down and get it so when it hits after free spooling from like a 2 o'clock position and just overrolls a little bit, that's where you have it properly set up. Now, we get to why I put it at 7. I put it at 7 because that's a good place to start. Like I said, I've always put it there. It helps me cast. I can cast in almost any situation. But if maybe the wind picks up and I'm casting into it, I can click it up to 8 or 9 and be able to cast pretty much backlash free. I'm casting with the wind, I can turn it down to 6 or 5, and with the same spool tension on the same weight, I can cast it even further and not have backlashes. So trust me, this is the proper way. Like I said, I've helped a lot of people set up. It's the way I've always set up. Don't just think about the configural or the magnetic. It's the spool tension. You have to make sure that, like I said, when you have it there and it drops, it looks like this and not this. I hope this helps. Until next time.
That was terrific.
Great, yeah.
Best bait so far.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's really great.
Really tisky, yeah.